Oh, yeah. Movement party number 6, neurological stress edition. You know, one of the things that happens nowadays is that people are getting so stressed that their entire nervous system is being stuck in flight or fight. What?
Making me laugh, sorry.
That's okay if we laugh. That's okay. So the fight or flight system, which is, and most people understand what that is basically if you are going to run or you are going to fight, there are certain systems in your body that turn on. So the heart will pump harder. The big muscles will get all kinds of blood. Your brain will be extra focused on one individual thing, right? But your digestive system, your immune system, your ability to relax, all turn off when your body's stuck in that fight or flight system. And so what happens is that people, we're supposed to go into that fight or flight response and just go and run away from something or get in a fight and it be over. But the problem is that people are stuck in a stress response. And so what happens is that their body gets stuck as if it's in chronic crisis. And so the side effects of that are their immune system shuts off, their digestive system is all backwards, it doesn't work well, right? They can't sleep well, and they can't focus and concentrate, certainly not on multiple things at once. And so when our body is stuck in that system, it's called the sympathetic dominant system. It doesn't work, it ages faster, and you don't feel as good. The parasympathetic system, which is the other side of your nerve system, is the one that's activated when you laugh or when you exercise regularly, or if you get some fresh air, or you see something that you really love, when you're near water, and all of those things. When you smell a food that makes you excited to eat it, all those things happen when the parasympathetic system takes over. So there are certain postures in your body. Now you'll probably understand this. A stressed posture is shoulders forward, head forward, chest caved in. This posture. Now most people unfortunately are doing that posture all day, right? You're driving to work or you're sitting at a computer. And so nowadays you see all these kids with phones all day looking down, etc., and they can't even hold themselves up in an upright posture. And if you activate parts of your movement patterns that aren't usually used in this pathway, it increases your brain activity to send you into a certain level of parasympathetic dominance. In other words, a more relaxed state. So there are certain movements, and we're going to trigger those movements today as we go through. Now, as a reminder, a couple of the exercises, we're going to add some resistance. So you can use a couple of wine bottles. They offer good resistance. I know people laugh. I keep using these as examples. Maybe they're not the healthiest, but it seems like in a pandemic, everybody has some of these at home. So we'll use wine bottles. If you have some type of exercise bands, if you don't have exercise bands, these are pretty good. These ones I just got off the internet. It's a 20-pound resistance band. It came with a set that has 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, and I think there's a 15-pound as well. And it comes with these easy handles, and there's all kinds of exercises you can do for that. So if you don't want to have weights and stuff in the house, these actually work pretty well. And then also you can use some different weights. So we have 2 light weights here. You can use any kind of weight you want. If you're the kind of person you want to work out harder, then maybe you'll grab 10 or 15 or 20-pound weights. These are little 5-pound weights for us, okay? So we're going to go through. The first thing we need to do to activate the parasympathetic system is we're going to trigger something called the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve comes from right here. The vagus is Latin for wanderer because it wanders throughout the entire body, and it has a relaxation effect on your heart, on your stomach. It activates the rest and digest system. And one way to trigger that is just with belly breathing. So I don't know if you guys have this talent, but I can actually look. How many months does that look?
4.
4 months pregnant, something like that. But I can push that right out. But the idea there is you're going to belly breathe. So I don't want your chest to move up and down. I want you to belly breathe. 3 deep breaths. So just put your hands here and just take a breath in. And try not to let your ribs move. And you're filling the bottom part of your lungs. Most people, when they're stressed, they only breathe in the top part of their lungs. You want to fill the bottom part of your lungs and oxygenate those tissues. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is what's called a cross crawl exercise. This is an exercise that activates two different parts of the brain at the same time. This is the same parts of the brain that are involved in a child who has what's called a chronic retained reflex or a retained neurological reflex. And a retained reflex is where they don't develop their nervous system properly. Some signs of that might be like wetting in the bed. They always walk on their toes. They have trouble and issues concentrating. They are klutzy and have balance issues. So there's exercises we'll do even with infants to trigger this, and it's great for us as adults to do it. It's why walking is so good. Walking does the cross crawl reflex, as does swimming, but we're going to exaggerate it right now with marching. And so with marching, I want you to bring your knee up and the opposite hand right up to a 90 degree, and you're going to march just like this, just for 30 seconds, just up and down. And as we do that, I have to introduce my two assistants. On my left, my beautiful daughter, Jordan. I would like to hear a round of applause, please. Good, awesome. I can't hear you on the other side of this. And then on my right, my gorgeous wife, Suzanne. Okay, Suzanne will be doing the modified versions, right? So if you have trouble with movement, if you have trouble standing, if you have trouble with your knees or ankles or whatnot, Suzanne's going to do some modified movements, and Jordan's going to do some more advanced of a few of the exercises that we do. Now we're going to take the march up to, we're going to go up onto our toes. So you're going to march up and push up on your toes. So it'll look like this. Up, up, up. Suzanne's going to stay flat-footed, and Jordan's going to do the more advanced version, which involves a skip, which is just fun to do. Okay, ready? Up on the knees. Go. You should be going up. Each time you're coming up, you're pushing right up onto that toe. You're activating what's called the posterior chain. You'll hear that term a few times today, but the posterior chain has to be activated in order for your body to stay in neurological balance. All right? You've done already? Okay. Sometimes I'll stop to talk. Okay. We're going to do neck retractions. So if people are like this all the time, like Jackson behind the camera, and Jake cheering us on right over here. Say hi, Jake. So neck retractions, really simple, is you're going to bring your head back this way as far as you can without looking up. So you're not tipping back, you're coming this way. Jordan calls this the double chin exercise. So try to create a double chin. But you want to do 5 full neck retractions. You should feel that stretch in your upper back. Jordan has the giggles tonight, so good, awesome. Okay, we're going to get into activating parts of the brain that you haven't activated all day. First part, really simple. You're just going to turn your head side to side 3 times each way. 5 times each way. Good. If you want to do the easier version, maybe you would, if you have to sit down, you can sit down. If you want to do it a little bit harder, you can do it up on 1 foot, side to side. Okay? Now step 2, this is a 5-step exercise. Step 2 is you're going to look to the side and then up. So this moves your spine in 2 different planes at the same time, which activates 2 different parts of the brain, which activates the posterior chain, which causes an anti-stress response. Okay? You don't need to understand all that to know it's good for you. If you find that when you turn your head, you can't look up because of pain, then at least use your eyes to look up, because it still activates that part of the brain at least partially. Okay? So we're going to turn, look up, back, other side, look up, up, you're going to find that there's certain postural muscles that are warming up that you didn't know you had. You're using movement patterns here that are atypical for your brain on a day-to-day basis. And there's the fifth one. Good. Step 3 of the same exercise now. You're going to put your arm up, turn, lift your arm up and back, and look up to that with your head. Keep that chin up and down. Then the other side. Arm up, turn your head, up and back, look up at your hand, and down. Arm up, turn, up and back, down. Arm up. Good. I'm not sure how many that is, but we'll do 5. And I think we're on our 4th. Okay, arm up, turn your head, look up, arm down. Last one, arm up and down. Good. Okay, this next one now, we're going to do a full body movement that involves rotation of your entire spine from a base. So you're going to have your feet, let's say, shoulder width apart. You're going to take your hand, let's say this is my right hand, I reach down towards my left shin, and then I uncurl the entire spine, look up and back. And then all the way down. Follow your hand with your eyes all the way down. So I'm watching my hand all the way. I'm rotating. You guys keep going. We're going to do 5 on that same side. I'm rotating my entire spine from the top to the bottom, and I'm unraveling it, visualize it one spinal bone at a time, and back down. Is that your 5th one, hon? Okay. And down. Good, you can do the same thing on the other side. So, feet shoulder width apart. Left hand reaches down towards right shin, and then start to unravel, watching your hand the whole time, and down. And make sure at the end, as you come through, that your chin comes up, right? So you want to have that extension and rotation at the same time, okay? You come up and across. And this is activating the parts of your brain that will trigger the vagus nerve, which will trigger your rest and digest centers of your nervous system. So if you've had a stressful day, this is a perfectly integrated movement that will help your body. One more, watch your hand the whole way. Watch your hand and down. Okay, so now we're going to add some resistance to that. So Suzanne will have the bottle of wine. This is my new favorite wine. I just tried it a couple times. If anybody cares to send it. Francis Coppola Diamond Collection Cabernet Sauvignon from California. We accept deliveries on the front porch. Jordan has a weight, right? And I'm going to use a band. So let me just demonstrate it first. So that exact same movement pattern. So you're going to reach down, you're unraveling the spine, watch your hand all the way up, and at the end with the weight, I want you to hold it there. And then come back down. Good, join us now. Okay? You're unraveling the spine, watch your hand the whole way, hold it at the top, and down. And what this is doing now is not just activating the part of the brain that has to do with movement patterns and stress, but it's also activating the parts of the brain and the muscles that have to do with ideal posture, which is required for ideal health. Okay? 2 more. Watch your hand all the way up. Make sure your head comes up at the top. Don't twist your knees. If you have to turn your feet a little bit, you can, but I don't want you to hurt your knees on this. Okay? And down. Good. Opposite side now. So now you're going to be coming. Now I know sometimes Facebook Live is backwards, so I might be saying my right knee and you're seeing it as the left, but you'll get it. Okay? So reach down Unwind your spine like you're hitting a golf club, right? Unwind your spine. I miss golf so much. Arm up, hold it up there. 2, 3, good, and down. Suzanne's going to have the cork off that soon and just be tipping it back into her mouth. Yes or yes? Yes. Yeah, the weight will get lighter as you go, right? Up. It's funny, I did the preview with a couple bottles of wine in it, and it's always the most watched previews and the most questions asked. Okay, last one. Bring it up and back and down. Good. Okay, keep these in your hand. 2 wine bottles, 2 weights, and 2 hands. So these are going to be the IYWs. I'll show you first without resistance, but we're going to do it with resistance right away. So the IYW is pretty simple. Your body's in the shape of an I, goes out to a Y, and down to a W. But you're going to have the shoulders back, and the I, your arms aren't like this. You want them like this, so you're pointing your thumbs back as far as you can, out to a Y, and then down to a W, so your hands are coming behind your shoulder blades, okay? So we're going to do 5 of those with weight. We'll do them slow and methodical. If you need to sit down, you can do it, and you can use any version of weight that you want. So I'm going to use this strap here. So start up, should stand in the middle of it. Okay, start up in an I, Y, down to the W. Remember, keeping your hands back behind your shoulders. Push up to an I. I feel like we should do the YMCA. Up to an I, out to a Y, W. You enjoying this, Jake? Down behind you. Feel that come all the way down. When you come to here, press your shoulder blades back. So they shouldn't be this way. Press them back so you're trying to get your shoulder blades back together. And then try and keep those shoulder blades close together as you lift up. Last one. You're in the I, Y, all the way down. Get those shoulder blades back. Have them touch together. And then as you push back up to I, keep those shoulder blades together. All the way down. Whew. You guys feel that in the back? It's a good one. It's a good one. Okay. This one here now, we're going to be down on the ground. I'll show you I'll show you the basic version first, and then I will show you some modified versions. So first is a bird dog, and then I'll show you what the other versions will look like. A bird dog is another cross crawl type exercise where you put one leg and one arm out at the same time and hold it there. The modified version will be against a counter or a chair, something stable, where you'll put one arm out and one leg out and hold that position. And then the advanced version, if you remember, is arm out, leg out, and you come in, pull them in together and out. And you're alternate, just keep going, just like that. So you would do basically in and outs, elbow to the knee, elbow to the knee, elbow to the knee. Okay, we're going to do this and hold for 30 seconds. Okay, so you'll do it for 30 seconds, you'll hold, and then we'll switch sides, okay? Jackson, you want to time that? Jake, you can count. Ready? Go. And as you're holding this, have your head in a relaxed position, okay? I don't want it up like this, extended, and I don't want it dropped down. Have it nice, neutral with your spine. Try to push that heel up in the air, okay? Have your arm up. If your arm's falling down, try to get your arm up behind. How are we doing for time, Jake? All right. 10 more seconds. And you'll feel those muscles activating to try and hold that posture. And down. Good. Straight into the other side now. Okay? And what you'll find at the beginning, you might be all over the place like this. That's because some of those small core postural muscles aren't as strong as they need to be. So leg up, arm up. If you can do this with no arms, but leaning forward like this, that's pretty impressive. Keep holding there 10 more seconds. Get that heel up in the air. and relax. Good. I think they call that a bird dog because a bird dog's a type of hunting dog, and I think that when they see something and they're ready to go, they have one paw, front paw, and one hind paw off the ground, kind of ready to go. I could be entirely wrong on that, but I have the microphone, so you'll listen to what I have to say. Okay? Yeah. You probably couldn't hear what she said because I have the microphone, and I'll hold it as that. Okay, this next one. Jackson, can you see me on that? Okay, this one's called the dead bug. And the dead bug, it's a funny name, but it's more of a neurological exercise than it is a muscle one, but we're going to do it both ways. So I'll show you first. So a dead bug is basically when you find a bug, they're dead and on their back with their legs and their arms in the air. So the dead bug is you lower one arm and the opposite leg, both of them staying above the ground. This one stays straight, this one stays at 90 degrees. And what you do is you bring them back up and then down the other way. And what happens is eventually you get uncoordinated. That uncoordinated movement, the more stressed you are, the harder time you're going to have with this exercise. Okay? So we're going to do it with resistance. Suzanne's going to do it in the chair, opposites. Jordan is going to use weights in her hands, and I'm going to use the resistance band. And so the idea is to add some resistance into the exercise. And so I would straighten one leg and one arm and hold. Sorry, honey. Okay, join me. You're going to hold for 5 seconds and up and opposite side. Hold for 5 seconds and up. Head should be off the ground. Not like this, but not totally down either. Activated. And switch, right? So opposite arm, opposite leg, go straight out. The other two stay straight up. And what happens is when you add resistance to it, if I put an EEG, so do you know what an EEG is, Jordan? It's an electroencephalograph, okay? So you've heard of ECG, which is an electrocardiograph, which is what they use to measure the electrical activity of the heart. Well, an EEG, keep going, opposite arm, opposite leg. An EEG measures the electrical activity of the brain. When you do this exercise with resistance, the brain lights up. It's unbelievable how much brain activity it takes to do this. You know, Robert Sperry was a Nobel Prize researcher, he won a Nobel Prize for his research that showed 90% of the brain's activity at any given time is directly active towards posture. In other words, the brain pays attention to posture more than it does fighting infection, building new cells, running your heart, and digesting your food. 90% of all brain activity. Okay, we're going to do one more on each side. This is the last one on the right. And down. Last one on the left. And down. Good. Excellent. Very good. So now you've activated your entire posterior chain, and then we're going to add in a stabilizer exercise here at the end. It's called a hollow hold. So here's how it works. So I'll show you a basic version. Suzanne will show you a modified, and then Jordan will show you more advanced. So the hollow hold, the way it works, you start with your knees bent on the ground, arms up, and you're raising your shoulders off the ground. And then you straighten your legs. Now, if you can add your arms back this way, perfect. If you want to add weights into these hands, perfect. One other way is to destabilize the pelvis. And so Jordan will show you, she'll do it with her legs kicking, or you can do it with your arms going like this as well. So the entire time is holding on to that hollow core. You can do it sitting in a chair. Arms up, make sure the arms come back, which opens and lengthens the abs, which makes them harder to contract. And then when you put the legs out, it really works the ab muscle. So we're going to do a hollow hold for 20 seconds. Do your best. So remember, knees bent, arms up, shoulders off the ground. So keep the shoulders off the ground, legs out, and I'll do arms back. You're at 10 seconds already. Good job. Hold that. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.5, 2. Just kidding. Done. Okay, we're going to do that twice. Okay? And if you're huffing and puffing at home, if you find that hard to do, it's okay. That's not the easiest exercise. The key there is to try to keep your back, the lower back, flat on the ground. I should have said that earlier. And so if it's not flat and your back is arching, you're not really activating. You're just kind of, I don't even know what that is. But the idea is to flatten your lower back. Okay? Arms up, shoulders up, legs out. If you need to put your hands behind your head, you can. Don't reef on your head, right? If you need to put your hands here and that's more comfortable, that's okay. If you want to put them on your stomach, that's good. I like them out this way. We're at 10 seconds already. Hold this posture. It's so good for you to just be strong, holding here. 5 more seconds. And 1. Good. Awesome. Okay, everybody up. And we're going to finish with what we started, which was the deep breathing. Is that pointing straight? My cameraman was busy. I want you to take some deep breaths into your stomach. Again, take some deep breaths down low. Try not to move your ribs at all. Try to move just the stomach. What that does is forces air into the bottom part of the rib cage. Looks probably pretty funny on a profile, but I don't really care. One more. And that's it. Feels pretty good, eh? That is your nervous system right now is better. It's better able to handle stress. You'll digest your food better. You'll sleep better. You'll be in a state of rest more efficiently. The wine will taste better, and all of the above. I want you guys, if you were just watching this, that's awesome. I love the support, but if you only watched it and didn't do it, you didn't really get the benefit. So I'm going to encourage you, because I got a lot of people texting me, oh, I watched you the other night. I'm like, so I'm checking. I'm like, watched or followed along? And lots of times it's, well, I just watched it. And so I want to make sure that people are actually doing it to stay fit and healthy, especially for our patients. I feel like we're maybe weeks away from being able to start adjustments again. I hope it's even sooner than that. But in the meantime, no matter what, for the rest of your life, movement is king, and you got to keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. All right, so thank you to my beautiful assistants, and we'll see you again next Sunday night at 7:30. Thanks for joining us.